Greetings everybody, my name is Captain Honorseeker and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the POJ Monk, the Patrons of Justice set. This is my perspective on the push build for Season 27. I'm also going to explain to you what the best item is to get your Crucible on. Last season, Season 26, I actually started getting a liking of the POJ Monk, and it actually got me to like rank 34 in the solo leaderboards for the Monk POJ. I was like, alright, I can do this. Right, now let me take you through this video. We're gonna talk about the POJ Monk. What's happening there? We're like, you use 5 pieces of the Patrons of Justice set, 2 pieces of the Captain Crimson set, Realm the Obsidian of the Zodiac. You're also going to use the COE, Serious Memento, and the Squash Necklace. It will also tell you which items, which gems you're going to use. So, right, let's start. So, to begin with, again, for the hat, you're going to do actually something completely different than what you used to do. You're going to use, instead of Vitality, you're going to add increased Tempest Rush damage towards your helmet. So you want to have Dexterity, critical hit, get it to 6%. And then increase Tempest Rush damage by 15%. In the helmet socket, you're gonna put in the diamond that reduce cooldown of all skills. That cooldown, once again, is important. Right, for the chest piece, Dexterity, Vitality, Armor, straightforward. And then you're gonna use the sockets as well, like the diamonds in there for your resistance of all elements. For the belt, you're gonna use the Captain Crimson's Steel Griddle. Dexterity, Vitality, Life, and Armor. Mountains of Justice, back to the Patrons of Justice. You're gonna use the pants, you're gonna use Dexterity, Vitality, Resistance of all elements. Could have gone for armor, but I felt like I was not getting the resistance that I needed. So resistance of all elements, and then in your sockets, you're going to use diamonds as well to add additional resistance of all elements. Right, for the boot, Captain Crimson's Waders. Dexterity, Vitality, resistance to all elements, and increase the Tempest Rush damage. 15% is a must. So you already hit 30 on the Tempest Rush additional. So for the gloves, attack speed. Don't look at my dexterity because I had to roll something off there for my Season 26 build. For Season 27, you want to go for attack speed, critical hit damage, critical hit chance, and cooldown as high as possible. Try to get 8%. This is your 4th piece of the Patrons of Justice. Now for the shoulders. I was lucky to get primal shoulders for this set. You want to have Dexterity, Vitality, cooldown, and a chance to deal 20% area damage on hit. This will complete your 5 pieces of the Patrons of Justice Monk. Alright. Now, because you're going to use the Tempest Rush skill, Serious Memento is a must for this legendary power. What you want to get on your bracers is cold skill 20%, dexterity, vitality, critical hit chance by 6%. My secondaries were reduced damage from ranged attack by 7%. Enemies take 800% increased damage from your Tempest Rush for 5 seconds after you hit them with a blind, freeze, or stunned. This will be explained when I'm showing you the skills that you need. So for that, we just covered all the gear. So now we go for the jewelry. Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac. Attack speed. Critical hit chance. Reduce cooldown of all skills. The Ring of Obsidian does not come with a socket, so you need to roll a socket on it. Be careful what you roll off. If you roll off something wrong, you're screwed up your ring and it does not work. Right. Legendary power. Reduce the remaining cooldown of one of your skills by 1 second when you hit with a resource spending attack. It's gonna tell you which resource spending attack you're gonna use when I'm going through the skills. Convention of Elements. Once again, Convention of Elements comes back every single time. You want to have attack speed on there. Critical hit damage. Critical hit chance. Legendary power, get it as high as possible. 200 is a must. Everything between 195 and 200 is a must. Gain 200% increased damage to a single element for 4 seconds. This non-static effect rotates through the elements available to your class in the following order: Arcane, Cold, Fire, Holy, Lightning, Physical, Poison. For the monk, that's going to be like Fire, Holy, Lightning, Physical, Cold. And because of the jewelry that we have here, we're going for the Square's necklace. Preferably you want to have on there gold skill damage 20%. Get it to 20%. Dexterity, instead of my dexterity, you want to go for critical hit chance 10%. And critical hit damage increased by 100%. I had to roll a socket on it. The legendary power, while not taking damage, damage dealt is increased by up to 100% and damage taken is increased by up to 50%. Most of the time, you will not have your Square's necklace up because you're gonna take damage like crazy. Legendary gems. Legendary gems, you're gonna use Tagok. Gain X amount percent increased damage for 1.5 seconds when you spend resource on a channeled skill. This effect stacks up to 10 times. You unlock the legendary power of the gem at 25, gain 2% increased armor for every stack. So 10 times stacking means 20% additional armor. Bane of the Stricken. Each attack you make against an enemy increases the damage it takes from your attacks by X amount of percentage. You unlock the legendary power at level 25 again of this gem. Gain 25% increased damage against bosses and Rift Guardians. Bane of the Trapped. Increased damage against enemies under the effects of a control impairing effects by X amount of percentage. Legendary power unlocked at level 25 once more. Gain an aura that reduces the movement speed of an enemy of enemies within 15 yards by 30%. Now for the weapon. For season 27, you're gonna get the 1 Kim Lao for the push build. Lightning skill as high as possible. 25% is the highest, so go for that one. I had to go for dexterity, vitality, and increased spirit regeneration because I didn't have enough. Your legendary power for the 1 Kim Lao does hitting with the Tempest Rush will activate Cyclone Strike, and both skills deal 600% increased damage. Alright, for your Azure Wrath. Cold damage, cold skill damage, dexterity, chance to deal 24% area damage on hit. Your legendary power, undead and demon enemies within 25 yards take 650% weapon damage as holy every second and are sometimes knocked into the air. 650 is the highest percentage that you can go. Go for that 650. So you want to sanctify the 1 Kim Lao for season 27. What does that give you? Casting Way of Life now summons a bell at a target location that deals damage when any player attacks the bell. Up to 7 bells can be active at one time. Only for the monk. That's not really an skill you're actually gonna use the bells. You want to go for the secondary with the Wave of Light bells. It's not a viable strategic use for it. That are the pieces that you're gonna use for the gear. Now let's go into the Kanai's cube. Kanai's cube. Balance as a weapon in your Kanai's cube socket. Damage of the Tempest Rush is increased by 600%, and when your Tempest Rush hits 3 or fewer enemies, it gains 100% critical hit chance. Now, you should already have this Daibo at the beginning of the season, because it's one of the 4 that you can actually roll that are useful for your level start. For your gear that you want to have, Mantle of Channeling, Well Channeling, Siphon Blood, Whirlwind, Rapid Fire, Strafe, Tempest Rush, Fire Breath, Arcane Torrent, Disintegrate, or Ray of Frost, you'll deal 25% increased damage and take 25% reduced damage. Ring of Royal Grandeur reduces the number of items needed for set bonuses by 1 to a minimum of 2. So this one completes your 5 sets of the Patron of Justice and your 3 set of Captain Crimson. So you get 6 item buff. Alright, let's go over the set bonuses for the Tempest Rush. For the Patrons of Justice, the 2 set gives you Sweeping Wind, gains the effect of every rune, and movement speed is increased by 5% for each stack of Sweeping Wind. Your 4th set piece gonna get attacking with the Tempest Rush reduces your damage taken by 50% and increase spirit regeneration by 50. The 6th set completes hitting with Tempest Rush while Sweeping Wind is active, increases the size of Sweeping Wind, and also increases all damage dealt by 15,000%. For your skills, defensive, basically left mouse button, Serenity, Ascension. What does Serenity do? Serenity, cooldown 16 seconds. Become immune to all attacks and control effects for 3 seconds. Ascension increases the duration of Serenity, so it takes longer for you to become immune. You will become immune longer because of the Ascension. Tempest Rush Flurry. Tempest Rush costs 30 spirit. Charge through your enemies, dealing damage to everything in your path. Remember, area damage, very helpful. Flurry. After you stop channeling Tempest Rush, you cause an icy blast that is more powerful the longer you channel. Tempest Rush damage turns into cold. I will tell you in a second how this works and when you need to start channeling. Sweeping Wind costs 75 spirit. Sweeping Wind costs 75 spirit. Surround yourself in a vortex for 6 seconds that damage nearby enemies. Critical hits intensify the vortex. Inner Storm. Gain spirit whenever the vortex is at 3 or more stacks. Sweeping Winds damage turns into holy. Blinding Flash. Blind all nearby enemies for 3 seconds. Remember, Seer's Memento. If you use a stun, blind, or a freeze on monsters, you will do with your Fading in the Light. You will deal increased damage for a short duration after using Blinding Flash. Remember that. Because using Blinding Flash with the Fade in the Light one, and in combination with the Caesar Momento's legendary power, you will have the damage that you need. Epiphany does a shroud. Epiphany cooldown 60 seconds. Have an Epiphany increasing your spirit regeneration per second and enabling your melee attacks to instantly dash to your target for 15 seconds. Beware if you use Epiphany and you dash towards an enemy, you will lose your stacks of Tempest Rush. Desert Shroud. Infuse yourself with sand, reducing damage taken. Last but not least, Mantra of Salvation, Agility. Mantra of Salvation costs 50 spirit. You and nearby allies gain greatly increased resistance to all elements, passive, you and nearby allies gain increased resistance to all elements. The active and the passive actually the same, just worded differently. The agility one. Passive, mental salvation also increases dodge chance. For your passive skills, you want to have Guardian's Path because you're dual wielding the one King Lao and the Zero Wrath, that's dual wielding. Go for that one. While dual wielding, you gain a 35% chance to dodge incoming attacks while using a two-handed weapon. All spirit regeneration is increased by 15%. Harmony. 40% of your single element resistance from items increase your resistance to all elements. Seize the initiative. Dealing damage to enemies above 75% life increases your attack speed by 30% for 4 seconds. Beacon of Ether. Reduce all cooldowns by 20%. More cooldown. Now, how to use in a proper way the Patterns of Justice. Now, how to use the Patterns of Justice in a cool way. So, you go on cold and you start channeling, and you see that my stacks from Tempest Rush are counting upwards. $60, $67, physical, cold, and releases at 100. And then shall start channeling again. See that I'm getting Teguk as well, like the armor, because I'm using a spending attack. I'm using an attack that spends spirit. Like we're at physical again. We're going to 80 and 100 and release. And again, keep going through the process of your skills, your elements. And release. So that's how you use your Tempest Rush effectively. You put Serenity and Tempest Rush on your mouse button so it doesn't take long for you to actually realize, alright, now I need to push it. You start your channeling at cold and you release your stacks at cold again. It takes a 20-second duration to get from 0 to 100. It takes also 20 seconds duration to go from the cold skill back to the cold skill. So guys, that was the explanation for the Patterns of Justice Tempest Rush Monk. I hope you all have a good season start of season 27. I hope to see you all in there. Have a good one. Bye bye.